simplest terms, what I do in my work with companies and organizations is unlock potential. I help really great companies get even better. So I'm helping unlock the potential of people that are really good at what they do. Get absolute clarity throughout the organization, not just in the offices of you and the managers, absolute clarity throughout the organization on what is most important here. I want to show you the cover of a book because it illustrates graphically what we're going to be talking about. This is absolutely one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, which would be me. You see there's a row of red apples over here. You want that to be your competition. Can't tell the difference, just can't tell the difference. You want to be the green apple. What are the three things that if we excel, if we execute, if we do these three things right every time, all day long, we'll win? The companies that come to me, a lot of times the leaders, and I'll use that classic question, what keeps you awake at night? What keeps them awake at night is they're thinking, we've got great people, we've got terrific resources, we've got great products and services, for example, and yet we know there's more. There's more that we can be doing. Now let me ask a much, much, much tougher question. We are nearly unanimous, if not unanimous, in our agreement that we have to get better every day. Everybody agrees. Well, we have to get better. It's an imperative. It's a requirement. Have to get better every day. What did you do yesterday that made you better? Well, we couldn't get better yesterday. We were slammed yesterday. You should have been there. The basic idea is, how do you separate yourself from the competition? How do you differentiate so clearly that the marketplace doesn't even see you as being in the same category? Those are as basic as it gets, but they're so good at the basics that they are cutting edge. Be the best at what matters most. How many of you said this to yourselves in the last year? How many of you have said this to yourselves in the last week? You know, I think we're making this whole thing way more complicated than it needs to be. Anybody? Were you guys just talking about that? We all make it more complicated than it needs to be. And that's not only a common mistake, that's a serious mistake. The cost we pay of overcomplicating things is immeasurable. It slows us down, it clouds our thinking, and it leads to bad decisions. One of the most powerful things that you can do as an individual, that you can do as a company, is to simplify. You tell me your experience, which is generally the best answer, the best solution, the best idea, the simple one or the complicated one? It is so easy to make things complicated. It's tough to make things simple. But if we're interested in becoming more competitive, then that's one of the things that we have to do. See, when you make things simple, you get clarity. When you get clarity, you know what to focus on. I love this definition. A great customer experience, you've got to understand this. It's at the core of what makes a business succeed. It is at the core of a brand. Your customer experience, in other words, how the customer feels about doing business with you. It's vitally important that everybody in the organization understand we exist to create a compelling customer experience. He taps me on the shoulder, I turn around, he goes, "Hey buddy, can you see me?" Because, I can see you. Why can't they see us? Now, here's the kicker. If you had asked any one of those employees, if you had said, "Hey, are you doing a good job?" what would every single one of them have said? Yes. Here's the problem. There was no clarity on what mattered most. How many of you are customers of Les Schwab? Raise your hands. Okay, a few of you, a dozen of you. Answer this for me. When you pull your car into a Les Schwab parking lot, what happens? They run to your car. This was not rehearsed. I love to imagine that at the end of the day, one day, Errol's standing around the tire store and somebody says, we sell tires. How can we set ourselves apart? And I imagine some 18-year-old kid with grease on his face, and he's standing over there and he says, I don't know. Maybe we could just like run out there or something. Yes! Yes! Maybe you could just run out there or something. I do interactive presentations, meaning even though I'm still doing most of the talking, I like to get the audience engaged. I like to get them engaged with me. I like to get them engaged with the ideas. I like to get them engaged with each other. And the feedback from my clients tells me, they say, our people loved the interaction. It got them thinking about the ideas and what they were going to do with them in the room before they ever went back to work. That's an important part of what I do. I always engage the audience. Great companies have great ideas and they take action on them. Now listen carefully. Mediocre companies also have great ideas. The difference is they don't take action on it. How many of you have something that you know you should do in your business? You know you should do it. It's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. You are capable of doing it. It would make things better. And you're not doing it. Is it just me? Anybody else? Can I get a witness? The ideas that you will hear at this event are only of value if you take action. Michelangelo said the great danger for most of us is not that we will aim too high and miss it. The great danger for most of us is that we will aim too low and hit it. Thank you so much for having me. This is such a privilege. Aim high. Have a great time, gang. Thank you very, very much. Thanks. Successful companies and the top performers within those successful companies are always the ones that want to get better.